Why am I reading that? Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown. I'm Josh.
And I'm Mitchell.
And we're coming to you semi-live from Adepticon.
Yeah, moderately live.
This is us having just gotten out of the Warhammer preview.
Yeah.
Which you probably have already seen online by the time that this comes out.
It is 10:01, so you guys are watching it right now.
Yeah. But we want to talk about what we saw and, more importantly, what we thought about what we saw.
Yes.
So let's start with the stuff that is not as exciting.
Okay.
Which is no offense to it, but it's not as exciting.
It's not as exciting.
The Lion's back.
Yes.
So Lionel Johnson, not Lion-O Johnson. This is not a Thundercats crossover.
Now I have a fan like Lion-O.
Yeah, you would not be the first.
Of course.
Primarch of the Dark Angels. He's been in stasis under the rock. Not Dwayne Johnson. There's a lot of drugs being with Dark Angels, isn't there? He's been in stasis for 10,000 years, and
sure.
I guess Vastor knocking at the door kind of woke him up, and now he's angry.
Oh.
He's back. He's in beautiful miniature format.
Oh, that model's so good.
That model makes me want to play Dark Angels more than anything else in that range ever has.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He had like 4 different head options, but just the human head.
Yeah, just the human head, no anything, was gorgeous.
That mustache.
Yeah, the full mustache and beard was amazing. The paint job was immaculate. Oh,
he looks like the knight in shining armor.
Yeah, he does.
Who's going to take on the dragon. The dragon in this case being Angron.
Yeah. Oh my god. Amazing.
In addition to his model, he is also the title and subject of the final Arcs of Omen book, The Lion.
Mm-hmm.
So that wraps up the story with Arcs of Omen. We don't know how exactly, we do know, but he and Angron are going to throw down.
Gonna fight.
I mean, obviously neither of them are going to die.
Yeah.
I think the funniest possible option will be that Angron dies and is removed from the web store. You can no longer play him legally.
No, out of our game.
No, you died. Bleep that, Cody. There's also some. I guess we'll talk about. Do you want to talk about Horus Heresy in this video or the other video?
I think we should do that in the everything else video.
So watch that other video, which will come out shortly. Same thing for Kill Team. So that is it for 40K for this edition.
Yep.
That's it for 40K this edition, because 10th edition is coming.
Yep.
I almost just said 4th edition is coming. 10th edition is coming this summer.
Yeah.
Some of the leaks are true, many of them are not.
Yes, which is impressive.
So the trailer showed off Space Marines, particularly Ultramarines, but Marines, versus Tyrnids. Mm-hmm. New Terminator sculpts.
Yes, which are specifically not Primaris, but can be Primaris.
Yeah, GW hates Firstborn models so much, they won't even say that these new models are new Firstborn models.
They're like, these guys could be Firstborns, but they also fit Primaris models.
We're not joking. They said on stage that it's the same Terminator armor that has been used for 10,000 years, but Primaris or Firstborn can wear it.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Nope.
It's a cop-out.
It is.
That being said, what do you think of the new models?
I like that they are subtly different and the scale is better.
They are bigger.
They are bigger. Not by a whole lot, but they're...
This was a fair chunk. It was a 1/4 inch bigger.
I don't think it was as big a difference as Firstborn to Primaris. I don't think it's that much bigger.
No.
Which is good, because then it's not going to stand out like, oh, those are the last edition models. But they do look way better. Mm-hmm. And I like that the changes are subtle enough that they can blend in, but also important enough that it makes the models look fantastic.
I was joking with the person on the other side of me. They didn't look that different.
No, they don't look that different.
And I don't know. I don't think the old Terminators don't hold up. I think they hold up fine.
Yeah, they hold up fine.
These
ones look better.
They do.
Yeah.
And they do look taller and more imposing.
Yes.
Which is fine.
Yeah. And the details, like, you could see the details in the bolter.
This is true.
The bolter, I could tell on the picture that was on the screen, the old bolter was like, the barrels were drilled out, but they were drilled out like cockeyed. I was like, oh, that's so sad. But the new ones look fantastic. Same way with the Power Fist they showed. So good.
So those are the only new Space Marine models they absolutely confirmed.
Yes.
But we also saw a new Redemptor Dreadnought variant that had a double last cannon and a missile launcher.
Was that in the cinematic?
Yeah, that was the thing that appeared, dropped it on the cinematic, and just nuked a Tyranid, and then got nuked by something else in return.
I didn't even notice it was new.
On its right arm, it looked like it was a Redemptor Dread, I think, because it was too tall.
Yeah, they're not going to come out with a... I mean, I guess it could be a third...
It looked like a new Redemptor Dread with a... It didn't have the arms, though. It had a double las cannon and a box missile launcher.
It reminded me of the Forge World.
Yeah. So maybe it's not new, maybe I'm wrong. but it looked newish to me.
Yeah, sure.
Also, some kind of new librarian and Terminator armor.
Yep, that would make sense. He was all glowy and had a giant axe.
Yep, and then he got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He fought a psychic Tyranid and then just kind of dropped
and
to his
then
knees.
lost. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that poor bastard.
Yeah, so not great. And then the other models that are confirmed new is new Terminator. New Terminators. Yes, I just said that. New Tyrnids.
Yes.
We're talking about models before we're talking about rules.
Yeah.
So.
Because it is what
the only one they showed off that was absolutely new, as in we saw the plastic, was the new Termagants.
Yeah.
Which, God, they look better than old Termagants.
They do. Again, I feel like the change is subtle, but when you see it, it's noticeable.
I didn't think this one was subtle at all. I thought it was night and day. I thought it looked so much better.
I mean,
the arms and lines looked so much cleaner. The face looked so much less derp. Everything about that new Gaunt looked better.
Yeah.
They essentially said that the Necron... Blah, 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 they turn... Good God! Sorry, I've been drinking.
Not for 3 hours now.
They essentially said that the
Please drink responsibly.
Yeah, drink responsibly, kids. If you're a kid, don't drink. Blur that can out. They're not paying us for product placement. They essentially said that Tyrnids are getting Necroned.
Yes.
Which is to say that just like Necrons at the start of 9th edition got a whole glow up across the range.
Yeah.
So new plastic warriors. Stuff that was plastic is getting redone.
Yeah.
Stuff that wasn't resin or metal is getting redone.
And looks like potentially all new stuff.
And also all new stuff.
Yeah.
They pointed out that thing that tore a Terminator in half. That was flipping huge.
Yeah, that might be an old model, but it didn't look familiar to me. Although I'm not a Tyrnid player.
The model might be old. The sculpt is going to be new.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There was some kind of new weird psychic thing.
Yeah, it looked like one of the drop pods, but it was like just floating across and doing psychic stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be like maybe a new Malanthrope type thing.
I know very little about Tyrnids.
Yeah, they have the triple psychic box, the Malanthrope and the Zoanthrope.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like that. So either it's maybe I'm wrong, but...
So a whole slew of new Tyrnid models.
Yes.
And I tell you, it's making me think I want to get into Tyrnids.
Really?
I mentioned to you the other day that Tyrnids were an army that I think I could paint.
Yeah.
It was actually on the way here.
Yeah, it was.
Except the models look old and terrible.
Yes.
We'll see.
Except for the big monsters. And I would be okay if they
hold up.
redo all the big monsters.
Yeah.
Redo the terrible Termagants, and Gene Stealers. That's it for the troops. I think the rest look fine. Even the little flying ones, the gargoyles.
Some of them, I don't know. You have a better tolerance for that than I do.
That's true. But the big monsters are good still.
Yeah.
Except for the fine cast and blah blah blah.
So that's it for new 10th edition models.
Yep.
Let's talk rules. Rules changes.
Yes, big deal.
So streamlining is they said that word a lot.
Yep.
Streamlining and simplifying. They did say that Warhammer is 40K is not a simple game and never will be.
Right.
They also said the word one page a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One page spread.
One page rules.
They didn't say that.
They did. They said rules on one page.
Well, yeah, but
they didn't say the word one page rules. Yeah, so obviously they're kind of like, I think maybe they're a little threatened by good old one page rules.
Which is fine. It's
good.
Friendly competition.
Good. Yeah, competition. Light a fire into their butts. Get their butts moving. So most of the rules are going to be on the data sheets.
Yep.
Is the idea. So less of the rules in the books, more on the sheets. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the books.
The indexes. We are being indexed. Yeah, the one fear that I had was indexing. Because all of the books that I have been buying over the past 3 years
sucks you bought a World Eaters Codex.
Yep, it's going away. But the good news is that the indexes are going to be online for free.
The index, all data sheets, and all points values, free online permanently.
Yeah, it says day one of the new edition.
Yeah, free online permanently, not like a stopgap.
Yeah.
So they're moving to free online rules for the indexes.
The codexes, they didn't really push into too much. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to now.
What they did say with the codexes is that they were focusing less on the codexes adding rules and more on adding different ways to bring organizations of armies.
Yeah, so I could see them doing Chaos Space Marines, and it would have the World Leaders and I guess could be the World Leaders and Black Legion and all that stuff. But it's not going to be like, oh, here's more rules for the army I was already playing.
They specifically called out codex creep as a problem that they're trying to avoid.
It's really weird to hear GW reps say things that people make fun of GW for.
Yes. And, this is one of those things where words are cheap.
Yeah.
I want to see what they actually do.
Yeah.
If they pull this, because we knew that, we talked about before this started, we're only going to see sunshine and roses today.
Yep.
And
only the good stuff.
Yeah. If they pull off what they say they pulled off, this is going to be amazing.
Yep.
But
and I'm excited.
They could also GW it.
Yep.
So other things. We did get to see a picture of the new data sheets.
Yep. The picture of the new data sheets.
Some things have changed.
Some things have changed. There is, similar to Age of Sigmar, the attacks and weapon skill and ballistic skill are all per weapon, not per unit.
Yep. So, now if you have a power sword and a power fist, those two things have different strength on themselves.
Yep.
And different to hit on themselves.
Yep.
And different number of attacks on themselves. If you've not played Age of Sigmar, that's what Age of Sigmar is.
Yeah.
Point for point. Which, as an Age of Sigmar lover, you will hear. I'm sure that there will be some people who complain about that, and I think they can stuff a power fist up themselves.
That being said, there were rumors that toughness was going away.
Wrong.
But it was completely wrong.
Wrong.
They showed us the Termagant datasheet.
And it's still toughness 3, baby.
Still toughness 3.
So you're still going to have to roll the wound. Yep. That's not changing.
Which I'm okay with.
No, I think this is a good...
I was hesitant to be okay with the no toughness.
No toughness going away was something that sounded like a very far-fetched rumors.
Yeah.
So let me see. More, and also like the Tyrnids still had a rule in their data sheet.
Yeah. It
seemed very simple for the Termagants, which made sense. By the way, the Termagants, their rule on their data sheet was every time an enemy unit makes a fallback, a retreat, or a normal move or an advance within 9 inches of them, once per turn, you can move up to d6 inches.
Yep.
So they can kind of creep towards you if you get too close to them.
Or away if it's an assault unit.
Yep. Let me see what else changed.
They did specifically call out that the sub-factions, the detachments is actually what they're called, which is great to go from detachments in 9th edition to an entirely different thing for detachments in the new edition, anyway, is that you will have 6 stratagems. Mm-hmm. That's it. You'll have, it said no more than 6 stratagems in your army.
6
active in your army.
Because it's and then 3 for your sub-faction, and then
No, so they said that a sub-faction for, what do they say, Ultramarines First Company would have 6 stratagems and then 3 extra rules that were warlord traits and artifacts. So it's interesting they're going to simplify it that much. And they also said that any stratagems that were specific to a unit, like Terminators can do this thing, it's just going to be on the Terminator.
Kazarkin, their thing. That's a big thing in Imperial Guard right now. Kazarkin, you have that mortal wound stratagem. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's also for science, but nobody runs science. That would just be on the Kazarkin sheet now.
Right, because it was really annoying to go I don't have that unit, and I don't have that unit. I do have this unit, but it's dead.
Stratagem bloat was one of the most hated things of 9th.
Yeah, I agree.
And I hated it too. I often just didn't use the ones I didn't care about.
Yep.
So it's going away. Other changes. Phases in general are simplified. The psychic phase is gone. And so they said they were moving it to the data sheets.
Yes. Which is interesting.
We'll see how they do it.
Yeah. They didn't give us really any more details than that on psychic.
Nope. There's no more morale phase. There's an entirely new morale mechanic. Mm-hmm. They also said morale is being flipped. Now you don't have... Now morale is another number that you want to roll higher than, not lower than.
Which makes sense.
Yep. In general, stratagems and especially command points far reduced.
Yeah, they did call out command points specifically.
They specifically said drastically reduced command points.
Even compared to now.
And they specifically called out less gotcha.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they said less gotcha in the gameplay, which is great.
Okay, yeah, that's fantastic. Gotcha sucks.
That's a big problem in 40k, is a gotcha, because it's so hard to memorize 25 armies worth of rules. Mm. One other thing that was on the data sheets that we forgot about is objective control, OC.
That is really cool.
So instead of having objectives secured, it sounds like, what it will be...
It could be in addition to objectives secured, but we'll see.
It sounds like we will have, for example, Tyrnids, the Gaunts, had an OC of 2. Mm-hmm. So every Gaunt model was worth 2 on an objective. Mm-hmm. Whereas Terminators, the more elites, might only be worth 1.
Right.
So
they're going to be killier and more elite, but not holding objective as good.
Yeah, so your weaker stuff is actually going to be better at holding objectives.
And that is another balancing factor.
Yes.
Because they can have a knight be OC 10 or something like that, where they could have a Dreadnought be 5, but the, Hellbrood be 4.
You don't have to write it in as a specific rule, like, oh, these knights count as 25 on objectives or whatever.
It's just on their sheet, which I think is awesome. I did not see that coming, and I like it.
Yes. Army planning, you called this out a little bit, has basically its arcs development.
Yeah. It's, they kind of muddied it a little bit, but it's basically you need a warlord, and then 3 of some kind of unit.
Any unit.
Or up to 6 troops.
Yes.
And that's it. That's all they said.
Yep. So they kind of called out that rolls are going away.
Yeah.
Which is great, because, that was a problem where it was like, every time I bring a Hydra, I'm not bringing a Lehman Russ.
Right.
Because they are competing for the same spots.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even matter how good per points your Hydra is, it's not competing against a Lehman Russ.
Yeah. So I am interested to see what that turns out with.
Yep. We already talked about codexes. Let me see. Boarding patrols.
Oh, yeah.
Boarding patrol rules are not going away. They'll be fully compatible with the new edition.
Yes. Which is impressive that they did that.
Yes, thank you for not psychic awakening us.
Yep. It's like, hey, you know all those books you bought? They're useless.
Yep.
On top of your codexes, but whatever. The indexes are good.
And speaking of patrols, Combat Patrol.
Yeah.
So Combat Patrol is now a game within a game. It's a different system.
It's a new format.
Yeah, it's a new format, which I guess we'll get to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Commander Precons from Magic the Gathering.
It's basically you take exactly the Combat Patrol.
Yes, like the box.
Yep.
And that Combat Patrol is that's what you use in that game mode.
Mm.
And it's balanced to be used against just other Combat Patrols.
Right.
So, like, you take your, your Thousand Suns Combat Patrol, and I take my Imperial Guard Combat Patrol, and we just play those.
Mm-hmm.
And they are played with each other.
Yeah.
There was an FAQ question asked at the end, not an FAQ, a question asked at the end, where someone asked, how does that work out, like, data sheets wise? And they said that sheets will be a little different between boarding patrol,
but not drastically,
and 40k, but not drastically. And generally, it would just be like the stuff in 40k would have a few more things.
Mm.
Like your Space Marine captain in boarding patrol might be pared down to one important rule, instead of having like 6.
Mm-hmm.
So the person next to me said Commander Precons. And that was like,
Yeah, that was a good point. It's basically I don't want to say low power, but it is lower power.
Yeah.
But everybody's lower power.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
And then finally, the last thing we'll talk about is the app. They said they've rebuilt the app from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
They also said it works now.
Yeah,
that's not me joking.
Specifically said, don't worry, it works now.
He said, we rebuilt the app, it works. And the Battleforge will be free.
Yes. I think they might have said for a limited time on that.
Oh, okay. I might have missed
They might have said for a limited time. I'm going to have to look on the page after it goes live. But, yes, the Battleforge will be free, because I know when the Battleforge first came out, beginning of 9th edition or whatever, it was free for a while. It would be great if it was free, because I use the Sigmar one a lot, and it'd be nice to have a 40k equivalent.
Not tied to Warhammer Plus.
Yeah.
And that's it. That was it. What was in the preview for Warhammer 40k? So, thoughts overall?
I unfortunately want to start Dark Angel's Army.
I want to start a Nid's Army.
I also want to start a Nid's Army. I was already thinking about doing that.
I'm not going to start a Dark Angel's Army, but God, I might get good old Lionel there.
He looks way better than Gorlaman.
See, I think I like Gorilla
Really?
Man a lot. I like that model with his helmet on.
You know what? That's fair.
I don't like him without the helmet.
Yeah.
But this guy I like without the helmet.
Yeah. The helmet or without the helmet and with the hood.
You can run Gilliman with all Space Marines, so you might be able to run the Lion with all Space Marines.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
They're not going to do that.
Don't break my heart.
I'll just pay him Space Wolf colors.
I don't know if the shotgun mic is picking it up, but Cody did just remind us that you can run Gilliman with most Space Marines.
We'll put subtitles in.
I'm trying to not have Cody do a lot of editing, because we want to get this going as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's true.
So, maybe we could run Lionel with your Space Wolves.
That'd be so good.
But thoughts on 10th edition?
I am glad that they're doing indexes the right way, because I was around for the 8th edition index.
Which was a big middle finger.
It was.
And this still sucks if you just bought a Warrior Codex.
Yeah, World Leaders or
Guard. Yeah, it kind of sucks for me. My Guard Codex was not fully legal until January.
Yeah, and now it's going to go away less than 6 months. That's going to suck. And I unfortunately did the math on how many codexes I've bought, and I'm sure people have bought more than me.
Yeah.
I bought 5 codexes and the Space Wolf supplement, and it's like $400?
Yeah.
Well, because they're $55 a piece, so that's 50 times 4.
Don't do this depressing math again, Mitchell. So that does suck.
It does suck. I really, really hate invalidating purchases.
Yeah.
Even if they're books, I don't like it. But it needs to be done. If they're gonna redo literally every data sheet in the game, I am interested in what they do with balancing codex creep.
Yeah, that's one of those things for me. I'm cautiously optimistic, but there's a whole lot of talk.
Yeah.
We'll see what they actually pull off.
It's true.
I hate that. Sounds so cynical to say.
Yeah, I mean,
but y'all have been saying that for a long time.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. These are balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come out and they just wreck every tournament.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, we accidentally balanced Leagues of Votian against elves and Tyrnids pre-nerf. That's why they were balanced. Like you didn't think of that before you released them.
No, obviously not.
Cody checking to see if I just spiked the mic levels. Sorry.
Goose for Rob.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I am. We just restarted 40K at our local game store, and I feel like we kind of got in on the right time.
Yeah, we did.
Because it gives us, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
But also trepidatious. Mm-hmm. Remember, if you don't like it, you can just keep playing 9th. Like, GW doesn't like you to know that, but...
Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about playing an old edition because I don't like the new edition, but...
you know what? If that's what you like to play, that's what you like to play.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own, but just me personally.
So we will keep you updated as we get more information.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that we will get trickles of it over the next few months.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when it comes in.
Yeah, they didn't say specifically, they just said summer. But...
it's going to be July because that's when it has always come out.
Yeah, basically.
Until July... No, not until July. We'll see you before then, I hope.
Yeah, I think so.
Until then, I've been Josh.
I've been Mitchell.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.